In a small town where the streets were lined with tall trees and bright flowers, lived a little girl named Mia. Mia was 8 years old, with big, curious eyes and dark curly hair that bounced every time she ran. She lived with her mother and younger brother in a tiny, old house at the end of the street. The house wasn't fancy, and sometimes it felt cold and quiet inside, but Mia always found a way to smile. Mia had one very special thing: an old teddy bear. It wasn't a new or shiny bear. Brownie was his name, and his fur was soft but worn, with patches of color missing from years of hugs and adventures. One of his eyes had been carefully sewn back on by Mia's mother after it fell off. Brownie didn't have a perfect nose or fresh ribbons, but to Mia, he was perfect. Brownie was not just a toy, he was Mia's best friend. She took him everywhere she went. When she felt scared at night, Brownie sat beside her on the bed, holding her hand as if to say, "I am here with you." When she was happy, she showed Brownie her drawings and told him stories. Brownie was the keeper of her secrets and dreams. Every morning, Mia woke up early and helped her mother with small chores around the house. Her mother worked hard to take care of the family, but sometimes it was hard for her to find enough work. Money was tight, and the small things Mia wanted, like a new dress or a warm winter jacket, had to wait. One day, after a long morning of helping her mother clean the house, Mia's stomach growled loudly. She hadn't eaten much that day. Her mother had promised Mia they would have something special soon, but today was not that day. Mia looked out the window and saw the sun shining warmly. The world outside looked full of colors and life, but inside, her tummy felt empty and heavy. Mia decided to take a short walk to the corner bakery. The bakery was a small shop with big windows, and inside, it smelled like fresh bread and sweet treats. Mia loved the smell. Sometimes, when her mother had a little extra money, she bought Mia a slice of cake or a small cookie. But today, Mia didn't have money. As she looked inside the bakery window, her eyes landed on a beautiful slice of cake. The cake was bright pink, with soft cream on top and tiny red cherries shining like jewels. Mia's mouth watered just thinking about how sweet and delicious it would taste. The bakery owner, a kind woman with warm eyes, smiled as she saw Mia looking at the cake. Mia took a deep breath. She wanted the cake, but she knew she didn't have any money. Her heart ached because she was hungry, but she was also afraid to ask. She looked down at Brownie in her hands. The teddy bear had been with her through many hard times, but today, she thought, maybe Brownie could help her. With careful steps, Mia walked up to the bakery door and pushed it open. The bell above the door jingled softly. The bakery was warm and bright inside. The woman behind the counter smiled again and said, "Hello, Mia. What can I do for you today?" Mia's voice was soft but clear. "Can I trade my teddy bear for a slice of cake?" she asked, holding out Brownie. Her fingers trembled a little. The woman looked surprised. She bent down and picked up Brownie, feeling his soft fur. "This is a very special teddy bear," she said kindly. "Are you sure you want to trade him for cake?" Mia nodded, her eyes filling with tears. "I'm very hungry, and I don't have any money. Brownie is my best friend, but I need the cake today." The bakery woman's heart softened. She saw the sadness and bravery in Mia's eyes. After a moment, she smiled warmly. "All right, Mia. You can have the cake." Mia's face lit up with a bright smile. She carefully placed Brownie on the counter and took the slice of cake wrapped in a paper bag. The cake felt heavy and soft in her hands, and the sweet smell made her forget her hunger for a moment. Mia sat on a bench outside the bakery. The sun warmed her face as she took a small bite of the cake. It was sweeter than she had imagined, and each bite filled her with a little more hope. But deep inside, she missed Brownie already. As she ate, Mia's mind wandered back to all the times she had hugged Brownie tightly during storms or dark nights. She felt a quiet sadness, but also a small hope. Maybe, one day, she would find Brownie again, or someone kind would help her. After finishing the cake, Mia stood up and walked slowly back home. The streets were still quiet, and the birds sang soft songs in the trees. Mia held the empty cake bag tightly, wishing for a better tomorrow. At home, Mia's mother noticed the smile on her daughter's face but also saw the tears in her eyes. She hugged Mia tightly and whispered, "You are very brave, my little one." That night, Mia lay in bed, missing Brownie but feeling the warmth of her mother's love around her. She closed her eyes and dreamed of a day when she would never have to choose between hunger and her best friend. And in the quiet house, with the moonlight shining softly through the window, a small hope began to grow in Mia's heart. The next morning, the sun rose gently over the little town, painting the sky in soft pinks and oranges. Birds chirped happily outside Mia's window, but inside her small room, Mia woke with a heavy heart. Brownie was still gone. She had left him at the bakery yesterday, trading her best friend for a slice of cake. Mia sat on her bed, hugging her knees close to her chest. She missed Brownie more than she thought she would. His soft fur, his crooked smile, the way he seemed to understand her when no one else did, all those little things made Brownie special. Now, her arms felt empty, and the room felt colder. Downstairs, Mia's mother was preparing breakfast. She noticed Mia's quietness and came to sit beside her. "Are you all right, Mia?" she asked gently. Mia looked up, trying to hold back tears. "I'm okay, Mama. I just miss Brownie." Her mother smiled softly and wrapped her arms around Mia. "You are very brave, my little one. Sometimes, we have to make hard choices to help our family. I am proud of you." Mia nodded but still felt a knot in her heart. She wished she could take back the trade and hold Brownie once more. After breakfast, Mia went outside to the small park near her house. Children played happily around swings and slides. Mia wanted to join them but felt too shy and sad. She found an empty bench under a big oak tree and sat down. She watched the world around her, the bright green grass, the blue sky, the flowers blooming with bright colors. Even though the day was beautiful, Mia felt small and alone. Suddenly, an older boy about 12 years old came over. His name was Sam, and he lived a few houses down. He wasn't mean or rough like some kids Mia had met before. Instead, he had kind eyes and a gentle smile. "Hi, Mia," Sam said softly. "I saw you at the bakery yesterday. You traded your teddy bear for cake. That was a brave thing to do." Mia looked at him surprised. "You saw me?" Sam nodded. "Yeah. I think it's hard to give up something you love for something you need. But you did it because you are strong." Mia felt a little better hearing Sam's words. "Thank you," she said quietly. "I'm still sad. Brownie was my best friend." Sam sat down beside her. "I understand. Sometimes we lose things we love, but maybe, something good will come next." Mia smiled faintly. "I hope so." As they talked, a gentle breeze rustled the leaves above them, and for a moment, the sadness didn't feel so heavy. Later that day, Mia's mother came home from work with a small bag in her hands. She looked tired but happy. "Mia," she said, "I have a surprise for you." Mia's eyes lit up with curiosity. She followed her mother into the kitchen, where the small table was set with a little plate. On the plate was a small cupcake with pink icing and a cherry on top. Mia's smile grew wide. "Thank you, Mama. It looks delicious." Her mother nodded. "I saved some money this week. It's not much, but I wanted to give you a treat." Mia felt her heart warm. She looked at the cupcake, then at her mother's tired face. She wished things could be easier for her family. After dinner, Mia helped her mother clean the dishes. They talked softly about their day, sharing small hopes for the future. That night, Mia lay in bed again. She thought about Brownie, about the cupcake, and about the kind boy Sam. Even though she missed her teddy bear, she felt a tiny spark of hope. She closed her eyes and dreamed of a day when she would have Brownie back in her arms, and when her family would never be hungry again. Days passed quietly in the little town. Mia went to school, helped her mother, and played softly with her brother in the small yard behind their house. But Brownie was still gone, and the empty space where he used to sit on her bed made her feel lonely. One afternoon, while Mia was at school, a man named Mr. Lee walked through the neighborhood. Mr. Lee was not like most people. He was a tall man who wore a neat suit and carried a small leather bag. He was a businessman, but more than that, he loved finding small, special things that others didn't notice. Sometimes, he would visit old neighborhoods and learn stories about the people who lived there. That day, Mr. Lee stopped near the bakery where Mia had traded Brownie for cake. The bakery owner greeted him warmly and told him about the little girl who had made a brave choice. As Mr. Lee walked down the street, he saw something on a bench near the park, a small teddy bear. It looked worn and soft, with brown fur that had faded from the sun. But what caught Mr. Lee's attention was a small, shiny necklace wrapped around the teddy bear's neck. The necklace had a tiny pendant that glittered in the sunlight. Curious, Mr. Lee picked up the teddy bear carefully. The pendant on the necklace was unusual. It was shaped like a small heart with delicate patterns on it. It looked old, like something precious from long ago. Mr. Lee smiled to himself. This must have a story, he thought quietly. He decided to take the teddy bear and the necklace with him. Maybe he could find out where it came from and why it was so special. That evening, Mr. Lee visited a friend who was an expert in old jewelry. The expert looked closely at the necklace under a bright light. "This necklace is very old," he explained. "It looks like it was made by a skilled artist many years ago. It may be a family heirloom, passed down through generations." Mr. Lee's eyes widened. A family heirloom? But how did it come to be on a teddy bear? The expert smiled softly. "Sometimes, people tie special things to objects that have meaning to them. It's a way to keep hope or love close, especially during hard times." Mr. Lee nodded slowly, thinking of the little girl who had lost the teddy bear. "I want to find her," he said. "I want to give her this necklace, to remind her that hope is always near." The next morning, Mr. Lee returned to the neighborhood. He asked the bakery owner about Mia and where he could find her. The owner pointed to a small house at the end of the street. Mr. Lee walked slowly toward the house. He saw a little girl playing quietly in the yard. Her dark curly hair shone in the sunlight, and her eyes looked full of wonder and sadness. "Mia?" he asked gently. The girl looked up and nodded. "Yes." Mr. Lee smiled kindly. "I have something for you." He reached into his bag and pulled out Brownie, the teddy bear, with the shiny necklace still around his neck. Mia's eyes grew wide with surprise. "Brownie," she whispered, reaching out to hold him. Her small hands touched the soft fur, and tears began to fall down her cheeks. "I found him," Mr. Lee said softly. "And I want you to have this necklace too. It is very special. It belonged to someone who wanted to bring hope and love to those who carried it." Mia looked at the necklace, the tiny heart shining in the light. She smiled through her tears, feeling a warmth inside her heart she had not felt for a long time. "Thank you," she said, her voice quiet but full of meaning. Mr. Lee nodded. "You are very brave, Mia. Remember, no matter how hard life feels, there is always hope." That afternoon, Mia held Brownie close and wore the necklace around her neck. She felt a new strength inside her, a quiet promise that better days were coming. And in the small town, under the bright blue sky, a little girl's heart began to heal. After the surprising reunion with Brownie and the special necklace, Mia felt something inside her begin to change. The little heart-shaped pendant glistened softly whenever the sunlight touched it, and Mia liked to touch it with her fingers, feeling its smooth edges and tiny designs. But questions filled her mind. Where did this necklace come from? Why was it tied to Brownie? And most importantly, how had a stranger found Brownie and brought him back? Mia's mother noticed the new necklace too. She held Mia's hand gently one evening as they sat together after dinner. "Mia," she said softly, "sometimes, when good people see kindness, they want to help. Maybe this necklace is a sign that you are not alone." Mia nodded, but the curiosity inside her would not rest. She wanted to know the story behind the necklace and how it connected to her Brownie. One morning, Mia and her mother went to the local library. It was a quiet place filled with books of all kinds. Mia loved to explore the shelves, even though she couldn't always read all the words. That day, Mia showed the librarian a picture of the necklace, which Mr. Lee had taken on his phone. The librarian, an elderly woman with soft glasses and a warm smile, looked carefully at the image. "This necklace looks like it could be from a long time ago," the librarian said thoughtfully. "Sometimes, old families leave stories about their heirlooms in the history books. Let's see if we can find anything." Mia and her mother spent hours in the library, searching through books about the town's history. Finally, they found an old photograph tucked inside a thick book about the town's past. The photo showed a woman from many years ago wearing a necklace that looked exactly like Mia's. "She looks kind," Mia whispered, studying the picture. "Who is she?" The librarian explained, "This is Mrs. Harper. She was known in this town as a very caring woman. She helped many families and children. They say she believed her necklace brought hope and protection to those who wore it." Mia smiled softly. The idea that the necklace was a symbol of hope made her feel stronger. Maybe, just maybe, Mrs. Harper wanted the necklace to find someone who needed it. That evening, Mia sat by the window, holding Brownie close and touching the pendant. She thought about Mrs. Harper's kindness and about Mr. Lee, the stranger who had helped her. Suddenly, Mia's phone buzzed. It was a message from Mr. Lee. "If you want, I can tell you more about Mrs. Harper and the necklace. Meet me at the park tomorrow afternoon." Mia felt excited and a little nervous. She wasn't used to meeting new people, but she wanted to learn more about the story behind her necklace. The next day, Mia arrived at the park early. Mr. Lee was already there, waiting by the big oak tree where Mia had sat before. "Hello, Mia," Mr. Lee greeted her with a smile. "I'm glad you came." "Thank you for inviting me," Mia said shyly. Mr. Lee opened his small leather bag and pulled out a dusty old book. The cover was faded, but the title read, The History of Our Town and Its People. This book belonged to Mrs. Harper's family, Mr. Lee explained. It tells stories of her life and the people she helped. I thought you might like to read it. Mia's eyes widened with surprise. Thank you. I would love that. As the afternoon passed, Mr. Lee told Mia stories from the book, how Mrs. Harper cared for children who had no one, how she shared food with families who were hungry, and how she believed kindness was the greatest treasure anyone could have. Mia listened carefully. Each story made her heart feel warmer. She realized that even though life was hard sometimes, there were people who cared deeply, people like Mrs. Harper, Mr. Lee, and even her own mother. Before Mia left the park, Mr. Lee handed her the book. Take this home, he said. Read it when you want to feel brave and strong. Mia hugged the book close to her chest. I will. Thank you, Mr. Lee. As Mia walked home, she thought about how a lost teddy bear and a simple necklace had brought so much kindness into her life. She felt grateful for the strangers who had helped her and for the story that was unfolding around her. At home, Mia showed the book to her mother. Together, they read the stories aloud, finding hope in every page. That night, Mia dreamed of Mrs. Harper and the children she had helped long ago. She dreamed of a future where she could be kind like Mrs. Harper, sharing hope and love with others. And deep inside her heart, Mia knew that even the smallest things, a teddy bear, a necklace, a smile, could change the world in big ways. Mia carried the old book everywhere she went. It was full of stories about Mrs. Harper, a kind woman who had lived many years ago in the same town. Each page was like a window into the past, filled with pictures, letters, and stories about people who had struggled but found hope. One rainy afternoon, Mia and her mother sat by the window, reading the book together. The soft sound of raindrops made the room feel cozy, and Mia's mother smiled as she read aloud. Mrs. Harper was a woman who believed that even in the hardest times, kindness could light the darkest places, her mother said softly. She helped many children who didn't have much, just like you and your friends. Mia looked at the picture of Mrs. Harper wearing the same necklace that she now had. Mama, why did Mrs. Harper tie the necklace to Brownie? Why wasn't it just kept safe in a box? Her mother thought for a moment. Maybe she wanted to share hope with children who needed it the most. Brownie could have been a friend to a child who was lonely or sad. The necklace would remind them that love and hope are always near, even when life feels hard. Mia smiled, feeling a little lighter inside. She looked down at Brownie sitting on her bed, now wearing the shiny necklace. I think Mrs. Harper wanted me to have this, she whispered. That evening, Mia wrote a letter. She wanted to thank Mrs. Harper for her kindness, even though Mrs. Harper had lived so long ago. Mia told her how much the necklace meant to her, how it made her feel brave when things were difficult. The next day at school, Mia showed the necklace to her teacher, Mrs. Adams. The teacher looked carefully at the pendant and nodded. This is a beautiful necklace, Mrs. Adams said. It has a special story, I'm sure. Sometimes, small things can carry big meaning. Mia nodded. It belonged to a kind woman named Mrs. Harper. She helped people and believed kindness is important. Mrs. Adams smiled warmly. That's a wonderful lesson, Mia. You can carry that kindness in your heart, just like the necklace. That afternoon, Mia helped her classmates clean the classroom. She smiled and shared her stories about Mrs. Harper and the meaning of hope. The other children listened carefully, and some even asked to hear more. Mia felt proud. She realized that kindness was not just a story from the past, it was something she could live every day. At home, Mia's mother noticed the change too. Mia laughed more, helped more, and seemed stronger. The necklace had become more than just a piece of jewelry, it was a symbol of hope and courage. One Saturday, Mr. Lee came to visit again. He brought Mia a small box wrapped in bright paper. "I have something for you," he said, smiling. Mia's eyes sparkled with curiosity. She opened the box carefully. Inside was a small notebook, its cover decorated with flowers and stars. "This is for you to write your own stories," Mr. Lee explained. "Stories about your hopes, dreams, and kindness. Maybe one day, you will share them with others." Mia hugged the notebook close. "Thank you. I want to write about Mrs. Harper and Brownie." Mr. Lee smiled. "And about your own journey, too. Every story is important." That night, Mia wrote the first page in her notebook. She wrote about the teddy bear she loved, the day she traded him for cake, and how a kind stranger had brought him back. She wrote about the necklace and the stories of Mrs. Harper, and how kindness could shine even in the darkest times. As Mia wrote, she felt her heart grow stronger. She knew that no matter what happened, hope would always be with her. And in the quiet of her room, with Brownie by her side and the necklace around her neck, Mia dreamed of a future filled with kindness, courage, and love. Days turned into weeks, and Mia's life began to change in small but wonderful ways. The necklace around her neck and the stories of Mrs. Harper filled her with a new kind of courage. She felt like she was part of something bigger, a long chain of kindness and hope that connected past to present. Mia continued to write in her new notebook every day. She wrote about her dreams, the people she loved, and how she wanted to help others just like Mrs. Harper had. Her mother noticed how much Mia was growing inside, not just in body but in heart. One afternoon, Mia's mother came home with a smile Mia hadn't seen in a long time. "Mia," she said, "I got a job at the community center. It's a place where people come to learn, share, and help each other." Mia's eyes brightened. "That's wonderful, Mama. I want to go with you sometime." Her mother nodded. "I think you would like that." The very next day, Mia went with her mother to the community center. The building was full of light and laughter. Children were playing games, and adults were talking and helping each other with different projects. Mia felt welcome and safe there. She found a small corner with colorful books and sat down with Brownie beside her. The necklace around Brownie's neck caught the sunlight and sparkled, like a tiny star guiding her. A friendly woman named Mrs. Parker noticed Mia and smiled warmly. "Hello, Mia. Would you like to help me with a project? We are making care packages for families who need food and warm clothes." Mia nodded eagerly. "Yes, please." For the first time in a long while, Mia felt she was doing something important. She helped wrap warm scarves, pack food cans, and write small cards with kind messages. As she worked, Mia thought about Mrs. Harper and her promise to help others. She felt proud to be part of this kindness. Later, Mia shared her notebook stories with Mrs. Parker. The woman listened carefully and then said, "You have a wonderful heart, Mia. You remind me of Mrs. Harper in many ways." Mia smiled shyly. "I want to be like her." Mrs. Parker squeezed her hand. "You already are." That evening, when Mia and her mother returned home, Mia felt lighter. The sadness she had felt for so long seemed to fade a little more each day. Her mother looked at her with love. "Mia, I'm so proud of you. You are brave and kind. You make me want to be better every day." Mia hugged her mother tightly. "Thank you, Mama." Days later, Mr. Lee visited again, bringing more stories and books about the town's history. He told Mia that kindness often begins with one small step and that every person can make a difference. Mia listened, dreaming of the future. She wanted a future filled with hope, kindness, and love. One afternoon, Mia's teacher, Mrs. Adams, invited her to share her story with the whole school. Mia was nervous but also excited. Standing in front of her classmates, Mia held Brownie and the shining necklace. She told the story of how she had traded Brownie for a slice of cake, lost him, and then found him again thanks to a kind stranger. She spoke about Mrs. Harper, the necklace, and the importance of kindness and hope. The classroom was silent for a moment. Then, her friends clapped softly, and some even came up to hug her. Mia's heart swelled with happiness. She realized that sharing her story made her stronger and gave others hope too. That night, Mia wrote the last page in her notebook for now. She wrote, "Even when things are hard, kindness can light the way. Hope is a gift we give each other. And love is the greatest story of all." As Mia closed the notebook, she looked at Brownie and touched the necklace gently. She knew this was only the beginning of her journey. And under the soft glow of the moonlight, Mia dreamed of a world where every child could feel safe, loved, and hopeful. The little town was quiet in the early morning, but inside Mia's home, a new light had begun to shine. Brownie sat on her bed, his soft fur clean and neat, and the necklace with the tiny heart sparkled gently in the sunlight. Mia woke up feeling peaceful. She stretched her arms and smiled, thinking about everything that had happened since she traded Brownie for a slice of cake. That moment had seemed hard, but it had led her on a journey filled with kindness, courage, and hope. As Mia got ready for the day, her mother came in with a letter in her hand. "Mia," she said softly, "this came for you today." Mia took the envelope carefully. It was thick and old, with a beautiful stamp on the front. Her name was written in careful handwriting. With a little trembling, Mia opened the letter. Inside was a note and a small, folded photograph. The note was from Mr. Lee. "Dear Mia, I wanted to share one last story with you about Mrs. Harper. When she was a young girl, she too had a teddy bear and a necklace very much like yours. She faced many hard days but always believed that hope could change everything. Mrs. Harper's greatest wish was to help children like you find their own light in the darkness. Thank you for being brave and kind. With warm wishes, Mr. Lee." Mia looked at the photograph. It was an old black and white picture of a young Mrs. Harper holding a teddy bear and wearing the same necklace. Her eyes were kind and full of hope, just like Mia's. Mia felt tears rise in her eyes. She folded the letter carefully and hugged it close. Her mother smiled, understanding the moment. "You have come so far, Mia. You carry a special light inside you." Mia nodded. "I want to share it with others, Mama." That day, Mia and her mother went to the community center again. The room was full of people smiling and working together. Mia carried her notebook and Brownie, wearing the necklace proudly. Mrs. Parker greeted her warmly. "Mia, would you like to help us with a new project? We want to give hope to even more children in our town." Mia's eyes shone bright. "Yes, I want to help." They worked together to prepare small gifts for children: soft blankets, warm hats, books, and little teddy bears. Mia added a special touch. She wrote small notes of hope and kindness to include with each gift. As the project grew, more people in the town joined in. The spirit of kindness spread like sunshine, warming hearts and lighting smiles. One afternoon, Mia's school held a special assembly. Mia stood on the stage, holding Brownie and the shining necklace. She told the story of Mrs. Harper and the journey that had changed her life. She spoke about the power of kindness, the importance of hope, and how one small act could grow into something wonderful. Her classmates listened closely, and many nodded with understanding. Teachers and parents clapped, proud of the brave little girl who had shared her heart. After the assembly, Mia was surprised to see Mr. Lee standing quietly in the crowd. He smiled and gave her a small gift wrapped in blue paper. "Open it when you are ready," he whispered. That night, Mia carefully unwrapped the gift. Inside was a beautiful necklace, similar to the one she wore, but with a tiny charm shaped like a star. Attached was a note, "For Mia, to remind you to always shine your light and share your kindness with the world." Mia's heart felt full. She put on the new necklace and looked at herself in the mirror. She saw not just a little girl but someone strong, brave, and full of love. Days turned into months, and Mia continued to grow, surrounded by family, friends, and a community that believed in hope. She never forgot the journey that started with a simple trade, a teddy bear for a slice of cake, and how it led her to discover the greatest treasure of all, kindness. And in the quiet moments, when the night sky sparkled with stars, Mia would hold Brownie close and remember the promise she made to always share hope and love, just like Mrs. Harper had. Because sometimes, the smallest things carry the biggest light.